This is the plaintiff, Sue Ellen Kemp. She says she was out walking her dog named Sonny, and he was on a leash when the defendant's unleashed dog went into attack mode and brought Sonny down. Sonny was terribly hurt. The defendant's not owning up to her responsibilities, and she just wants her $515 in vet bills paid. This is the defendant, Amy Heckler. She says this lawsuit's downright outrageous because it was the plaintiff's dog who attacked her dog, not the other way around, like the plaintiff's trying to claim. The plaintiff's dog jumped her dog. Her dog was hurt in the scuffle, and she's in absolute shock. She's the one being sued. She's accused of not containing the dog.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiff says her dog Sonny was on a leash when the defendant's dog viciously attacked. But the defendant says the plaintiff's dog was the aggressor. It's the case of Sonny side up.
Thank you, Douglas. Sue Ellen Kemp, you are suing Amy Heckler for $515 in vet bills when, according to you, her dog Unleashed attacked your dog.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me what's going on.
Yes, Your Honor. It was March 8th. Nice evening, about 9:30 at night, and I was taking my dog for our little evening walk. And we were taking a short walk that night. So we were just walking down our street, which was about 2 blocks. We took a turn, which is in front of Amy's house. And at that time...
Did you two know each other before this?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
I have lived on Sunset Beach now for 5 years, and I do not know her. Did not know her at that time. So anyway, I was out walking my dog, and we turned the corner to do our short walk. Sonny was on my right side, and as we were going down that street, all of a sudden this dog comes up from nowhere, and all of a sudden he's attacking my dog. And I look up and I say, "Is that your dog?" She goes, "Yes." I said, "Oh, please help me, help me." At that point, my dog was down on the ground. The jaws, all I could see was a square head of a dog, and then I just didn't know what to do. And I thought, well, what went through my mind, I couldn't pull my dog off. Amy, now I know her name, couldn't pull her dog off. And all of a sudden, I guess Amy fell down. And then all I could do was start to scream for help because there were people watching what was going on.
Why couldn't you guys pull the dogs off? Because
my dog was down on the ground being attacked.
Because no, but I'm saying that you physically
she could not pull her dog off.
Listen to my question. That she physically couldn't handle the weight of her dog and physically wasn't strong enough to pull him up, or nobody wanted to pull him up because he had your dog by the... I'm not following what you're saying.
Yes, Your Honor.
She was trying to pull him off, but physically couldn't handle it.
Could not.
All right, then you caught the attention of a couple of teenagers.
Exactly.
Teenage boys?
Yes.
Okay,
yes,
and what
yes,
happened?
Your Honor. Well, then they came around. They could hear me screaming. They could hear the dog fight. So they came around and they saw what was going on. They took the leash out of my hand. I still had Sonny's leash in my hand. And then they broke the fight up.
Okay.
And then we all dispersed and went our own ways.
Did you think that there were no injuries?
I was terrified. I was terrified.
I know, but did you think there were no injuries to your dog at the time?
At that point, he was able to walk away. I didn't see any blood.
So you thought it was going to be okay?
I thought it was going to be okay.
As it turned out, it wasn't, though, right?
That is correct.
How many days passed before you realized that your dog is named Sonny?
That's yes.
What kind of dog is Sonny?
He's a white shepherd mix, a humane society rescue. Uh-huh.
Okay. And how? Let's get Sonny some
Sonny
fame
today.
and fortune.
This is the other day, and this is last night when we're out. This is how we walk. We go out of our door with our walking gear on.
I should hope
That's
so.
how
That's
we
the way
walk.
it's supposed to happen. That's exactly how it's supposed to happen.
And then this is...
So how many days passed before you realized that Sonny was hurt?
This was Thursday evening, and then Saturday morning, I had my friend Bob, who lives on the corner from me, come by and check on my dog during the day. He was shaking his head, and just out of balance. And I thought, well, and then Bob called me at work, and he said, Sonny needs to go see the vet. So I said, okay. And this is on a Saturday, so my veterinarian is closed on Saturday, and they said that I should go to the emergency clinic, which I did as soon as I got off work that night.
Okay. And then as it turned out, Sonny needed stitches, right? In his ear.
That's correct.
And so here's where Sonny has to wear that humiliating lampshade.
For a week and a
I guess
half.
that's a drain?
Yes, which I had to clean and press so that he had an infection.
Yeah.
And then when I could feel the infection, which wasn't apparent Thursday night, it didn't come up for the next day.
Right.
So when I felt the infection, I felt this growing larger, I knew I had to go to the veterinarian.
Of course. Okay, you tell me your side of this.
Well, at first when, and I didn't even know who she was, it was a week later that I heard from her.
Yeah, but you remember a week ago when there was a dog fight.
I knew what happened, but, but.
Unless this happens every night.
Not at my house.
What was your dog doing loose?
Well, he wasn't really loose. We have, and I have a picture of the front of my house, although the lattice work that's up where the porch is not, I'll give that to you, was not there then. I have erected that since to prevent this, but he was actually in my yard, so he wasn't loose. I was sitting on my porch. I was actually on
Was she in your yard?
She was in my yard. She walked up.
Okay, but how does your dog, but your dog is not in a, restrained in any way because there's no gate. Now there's the lattice work and that's good. But before then it was all open and your dog was in your open yard.
He was on the porch with me.
Loose, unleashed on the porch where something like, oh, I don't know, call me crazy, but the dog could run out and bite and attack another dog, which is exactly what happened. Well, the idea is that you're supposed to have your dog under your control, and obviously the dog wasn't under your control if this happened.
Okay, well, he never come off the porch. Let me kind of...
Her dog, she went onto your porch?
No, she didn't come onto my porch. Before moving here, the place that I lived before, it was a fenced-in yard where I always had the dog on a dog-run leash.
Oh, so you have the dog on a leash when you have a fenced-in yard, but when you don't have a fenced-in yard, you have the dog off a leash.
So if the defendant doesn't have a dog on a leash, is she automatically responsible for the attack?
I would say no. I would say the only way she would be responsible would be if she was on notice of previous attacks.
Okay, what do you think?
I'm sorry, I didn't get the second question.
No, it was the first question, but the question was, is the dog owner automatically responsible if the dog isn't on a leash?
Definitely, you should have your dog on a leash because you're responsible for their act, you know?
Does that, basically, is that end of story?
I believe so. You're responsible for your dog and it should be on a leash.
Okay, fair enough. Going inside the courtroom.
Well, what I was trying to explain to you is why the dog stepped off of the porch.
Let me explain something to you. I do not need an explanation of why your dog's there. Your dog's there because your dog's a dog. And your dog, put your pictures down, your dog wanted to see another dog and alpha male it. I don't need, dogs are animals. What I need an explanation of is why you, as a dog owner, had a dog that was not fully within your control as the law requires in your state.
Well, he had stepped off the porch.
Who's he?
Heinrich, the dog. My dog's name is Heinrich. He had stepped off the porch. I stepped off the porch, took him by his harness, and you'll see.
And brought him over to meet the new dog.
No, I was standing there. She was standing right there in front of me. She hadn't said a word. I looked up to say hello to her, and next thing I know, before I could, these two dogs were fighting.
Okay, your hand just let go of the harness. How did that happen?
No, my hand.
Well, your hand in court just let go of the harness.
I'm talking with my hand.
Okay.
But so I have the my dog by the harness. She lets go of her dog's leash. I held on. Wasn't expecting a dog fight, but I just instinctively held on to my dog, and I was literally dragged into the street. And you'll see in the photos, you can see the bite marks above his eye there. And he had bite marks on his neck, and he had a broken toe as well.
Your dog?
My dog. And it's because I was holding on to my dog, you know? And so I was, and actually I had a huge cut on my leg from being dragged into the street. She completely let go of her dog.
So you're saying that she sees a big dog and lets go of her dog to go...
I don't know why she let go of her dog's leash. To this day, I don't understand it.
And you, of course, you're saying that is absolutely not how it happened. How it happened is her dog came off her property and came out
of nowhere. My dog was with me, never off leash. I have the eyewitness that was walking that evening that saw the dog running loose come up and attack myself and my dog. Okay. I could have also been attacked.
I don't know who this person is, but there was not anyone out there. It wasn't until I was literally dragged into the street. If Miss Kent had her dog's leash, the dogs could have been pulled apart.
What kind of dog do you have?
He's a Rhodesian Ridgeback. But
who's this authored by?
That is the boy.
One of the boys?
That broke. It was two brothers. They live on 91st.
It was like a large pit bull type dog.
Ma'am,
the woman who... Stop talking. I'm talking.
I'm sorry.
The woman who appeared to be the owner of the pit bull-like aggressive dog was sitting on the ground, I think, holding the dog's leash or collar, unable to separate them. might grab. I mean, that alone is bad because you're supposed to be able to be in full control of your dog. If you cannot even separate him before he does $500 and something worth of damage, you're still not in full control of the dog, even under your explanation of how it happened. See, courts don't get into the mind of the dog. That's not how it works. The dogs are animals, okay? And by the way, you live in the state of Florida, where you understand, I don't know if you do, but you need to understand this if you don't. This is one of the several states that have essentially strict liability for dog attacks, which means that you are 100% responsible for your dog, not in a negligence theory, as in, oh, judge, I'm doing everything right. I'm doing what I need to do. The dog's on my yard. I got him by the harness. So I'm not negligent. No, in an insurer theory, like when there's no fault and your insurance has to pay for damages, you are the insurer of your dog in the state of Florida. It is a strict liability state. So no matter what, you're paying for this. All right, well, God bless the teenagers who got involved. If my teenager got involved, I'd kill her. Because you just never know. They're animals. You don't know what's going to happen. I want my daughter to lose an eye over saving a dog, you know? Anyway, better pay. Oh, well, you're done, lady. Oh, $515, pay the vet bill. That's it. That's a law in your state. $515, pay the vet bill. And I strongly suggest that, well, you might have resolved it already by putting that lattice work. I don't know, your dog sounds like a little bigger than that lattice work will hold, but just make sure that you have your dogs on a leash when they're outside the house. Okay? Take care.
Thank you.
All right, hold on,
Well, what can the defendant possibly say? Let's find out. What is your reaction to this verdict here and how this case went against you?
Well, I don't necessarily agree with what the judges
with the law. You don't agree with the law, right?
But you know, the judges rendered her decision, and I accept it.
You accept it, and so how are things going to change in the neighborhood?
Well, I think that it's, you know, it'll pretty much be the same. Of course, we've erected a fence to, you know, keep our dog and other dogs from, you know, attacking our dogs.
Attacking your dog. Okay, you just head right down this way. All right, so let's see. So you win your case. You feel good how the defendant accepts responsibility?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it does?
Well, the most important thing is that when you have a dog, you have to respond to the dog's needs. Then you have to be responsible for their action. And if nothing more, that's what this is about.
Harvey?
Bottom line here, if the dog is off a leash, there is automatic responsibility if that dog attacks another dog, because you don't have control. I will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.